All Jews are one. Kol Yisrael Echad. This is the fundamental secret and purpose. There aren't different branches of Judaism. If you're Jewish, then you belong to the Jewish community. I don't ask you, do you belong to the Reform, to the Conservative, to the Orthodox? Do you belong to the unaffiliated? Do you belong with the group of believers? Are you a cultural Jew? It doesn't make a difference. In a certain sense, I've broken off from the totality of the Jewish community. The totality of the Jewish community is a group of non-believers, at least on the surface. Unbelieving. You see? What they call noons or nuns. So if I'm really part of the Jewish community, I have to embrace the majority opinion. If I'm really halakhic, I have to go with the majority of the people in the world. If this majority of people in the world says they don't believe in God, that's a strange thing, but even if they say they don't believe in God, in a certain sense I must agree with them because they've only forgotten. They've forgotten the Ikka. I have to agree with them because they're unconscious to their belief. Underneath it all Jews are one, emanating from the Atzmus level of Ein Sof, the Atzmus level itself. A Jew, if he's really Orthodox, if he's really Jewish at all, has to stay within the Jewish community and support that community, even if he thinks they are wrong. Even if he thinks they are wrong. So my new focus now on Judaism is what I call New Jews. The Jews that live in New York. Remember, I'm Alexander ben Ephraim of New York. I was put here for a purpose. This is the purpose I live in New York for. Alexander. Remember, it's not part of the Jewish opus. Find out about that yourself. New Jews are people who are culturally disenfranchised from Judaism. They have their own culture. They have their own ways. They've been brought up with Christmas trees. They've been brought up observing New Year's Eve. In the society today, there are so many expressions of secular self. We go to secular schools, we've been made to forget. And so, we must live as we are. Il faut être absolument moderne. That's what Rimbaud said. We have to also adapt the heritage to the society that we live in at the time. This is the true essence of Judaism. Every society has its different foods and speech and culture. Here in New York, it would be weird to be Orthodox. It would be much more normal to have no Jewish practices. When you're walking down the street, it'd be normal to have intermarriages. Now that's not intermarriages between black and white, that's intermarriages between non-Jew and Jew. The acceptance of the majority rule is what the secret has to be in New Judaism. Kol Israel Ehad. These new Jews, we all know them. Let me just give you an expression of what happened. I'm friendly with somebody who owns a coffee shop. She doesn't permit other cups to come into her coffee shop. Cups from Starbucks, cups from Dunkin' Donuts. She says, why should she support them in their advertising? When she tells the people that they can't come in with the cups, they get surprised. Another thing is, these same people, when they come in and pay for their cup of coffee, $1.50, they hand her a credit card. And she says, oh, we don't take any credit cards under $10, which again is against state law. And again, they act surprised because they're used to paying with a credit card for everything. Embrace everybody new. Embrace all the modern changes of behavior. The etiquette of a cell phone. Permit the cell phones in the air, in the airplanes. Don't turn back technology. This is what New Judaism does. If you don't want to if you want to break a Sabbath law and take an elevator, that's not for me to tell you to do. But it's not for me to tell you not to do. Do your own thing. That's what we've been doing here in America. Do your own thing. Keep studying. Do your own thing. Me personally, I wasn't a lover of these bicycle lanes in New York. I had a very severe bicycle accident as a child, so maybe that's one of the reasons why. But I have to embrace it because the majority want it. That's what I've learned from Halacha. Embrace it, because the majority wants it. Now, the majority of Jews don't even believe in God. Who am I to tell them they don't know what they're talking about? We only have a few years here on earth, and everything must be an expression of their own self, one's self. One's etzem, one's essence, one's bone. So my Judaism, the new Judaism, the true Kabbalistic Judaism, embraces new Jews. The Jews that feel they're culturally Jewish, not religion. Who have no feeling for religion at all, who consider themselves agnostic. Atheist. They were born to a Jewish parent. They got a bris. They had a circumcision. To me, that makes them Jews. The highest level of Jewishness is, did they have a bris? If they had a bris, I totally accept them. Totally accept them. Without the bris, I'm not sure yet but I'm working on it. For women, they're born Jewish if there's a Jewish mother. If it's a mixed father and mother, for me, not really yet, but I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Maybe it's my limitation because I'm not part of the totality of Israel. The totality of Israel gone down through many generations. The totality of Israel after they've had a Holocaust against them. How would I know how I would feel if I lost family in the Holocaust? Would I lose faith too? Besides family, would I lose faith? Seems like a natural thing. Being marched to gas chambers, to also lose faith if you survive, or even a generation afterwards. People don't know this, but I lived in Germany for a year, teaching tennis. This is part of my background in education. I understand the German mind. It's what makes me Alexander of New York. I accept the people of the Lower East Side as brothers and sisters. All Jews are one, no matter what they profess they believe or don't believe, if they're associated or not associated. There are more Reformed Jews than Orthodoxy. Who is Orthodoxy to be the keeper of the keys? There's a very high level of acceptance of everybody. It's a level of acceptance that must be done today, a total embrace for all Jews to be one. Remember in the Talmud it says, if all Jews celebrate 2 Shabbos in a row, the Mashiach will come. It also says, the next line, if all Jews don't celebrate 2 Shabbos in a row, the Mashiach will come. It means that all Jews have to agree for 2 Shabbos in a row. It doesn't matter if they observe it or they don't observe it. The secret is in total agreement of all Jews, because Kol Israel Echad, all Jews are one. So I've gone now to the other side. I've embraced the majority. To me, all Jews are one. I expect you to embrace that also. I expect you to follow my lead here and embrace the unaffiliated, the unbelievers, the disbelievers, the ones that think that it's only cultural or that only their parents are Jewish and they have nothing to do with Judaism at all. This is Kol Israel Echad. So if you're really Orthodox, you'll give up your position to the majority so that you will observe with the majority 2 Shabbos in a row. And by definition, by promise, Mashiach will come. Well, this has been an expression of new Judaism, all-embracing Judaism. All Jews are one, call Israel Echad, and a call out to modernity here, because we're living in New York. And all the people here come to New York to be modern. And who are we to say that they are wrong?